For those of you that want a chimney that's a little bit more complicated, instead of a nice simple chimney like this, if you want something more complicated, let me show you how you can do that if you wanted to. Let's say I wanted to create a chimney on this face of the house. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw myself some line work, and I'm going to draw on this face. Make sure you have your dynamic UCS on, which I think is F5, and I'm sorry, F6, dynamic UCS on, because you want to be able to select the surface so that way I can draw the shape on the surface. And again, it depends on how you want to do it. But this is one of many ways. I'm going to draw here. I'm going to start nearest from this edge here. Going to come up along this way, and maybe I wanted to add um, a little bit of more complex geometry instead of just doing a square. Maybe like an angle like this. F8, come back this way, and then F8 again, kind of like this, and then down this way. So many different ways of doing this. Okay, so I'm gonna base it off this shape right here. And God, that's an ugly looking chimney. I would probably fix it a little bit better. I want to get rid of this stuff. I don't need that. Let me just make this look a little bit nicer because that kind of bugs me. I'm gonna stretch that. Move this over just a little bit, just to make it look a little nicer because that kind of bugs me. And then grip this guy, move it to there, and then grip this guy, and then move it to there. I need to create a closed shape. So remember, it needs to be a closed shape for us to be able to region it. If you're missing anything, just like in regular 3D, it's not going to work. So I'm going to region, REG, region that shape there. Okay, and there it is. So then from there, I'm going to go ahead and extrude it, that shape, and then just really depends on your design how you want it to look like. I'm just going to eyeball it and make it look like that. And then from here, I can do another shape here, and then extrude that one to make my chimney. Or like I showed you, the press pull command would work nicely here. Or I can just press pull this surface here and just press pull it all the way up, and then create a nice looking chimney like that. Okay. So remember that this is just a 3D model, and maybe I can put it here. I can subtract it. This part I'm kind of curious how we would, do we have to cut it out from here? Now I'm thinking about that. Would we need to put this first and then this part separately? Or can we cut out the gingerbread roof and then make this one just all one piece? Yeah, probably so. So we'd probably have to go to this roof and then cut out a section of it by doing a subtraction. Okay. Don't forget that we can do that by drawing out the geometry here and then subtract out that piece. So that way there's a notch on the roof so that the chimney falls into place. But nonetheless, once you have the chimney in place, that's another thing you're gonna have to do is take this one over here, explode that guy, and then figure out which parts you would need for the plotting. So I'm assuming it would be just, you wouldn't need this back wall because that's the one that goes up against the wall. So we can get rid of that one. We wouldn't need a bottom necessarily. So it'd be really these pieces, but notice that it's going to start getting a little bit more complicated, and there's nothing wrong with that. But nonetheless, these are the panels that you'd have to flatten using the 3D align command, and then you'll have to put them together to create that chimney effect. And I take that back. I guess you would need a little piece here, but that's part of your challenge. That's what you're going to have to figure out what you need for this gingerbread house to work. Okay. So again, 3D align, put it on the paper for plotting. But this you can do a little bit more of a complex chimney. It doesn't have to look like this. It just depends on your design.